You turn your back for 5 seconds and your shoe vanishes across the living room floor, or your sandwich disappears from the counter. When we catch them in the act, we default to a very human conclusion. We assume the dog knows it did something wrong and is actively choosing to be defiant. You know the expression: the dropped ears, the tucked tail, the slow side-eye glance. We see a confession in that face. Cognitive scientist Alexandra Horowitz tested this assumption. She found that the guilty look appeared whenever owners scolded their dogs, regardless of whether the dog had actually eaten a forbidden treat. The expression functions as an appeasement signal, an instinctive reaction to your posture and tone, intended to diffuse your anger in the moment. If they aren't feeling guilty, we have to look at what their brains are actually doing. Scientific testing reveals that different types of theft are driven by entirely different neurological and psychological programs. Understanding these behaviors requires looking past the act of stealing and identifying the specific biological needs being met. Some thefts are remarkably quiet. A worn sweater or gym shoe disappears, and you find it later in the dog bed, perfectly intact. No chewing, no damage, just contact. Neuroscientist Gregory Burns used a functional MRI scanner to map how dogs process the world through scent while fully awake. When exposed to the scent of a familiar human, the caudate nucleus, the region associated with anticipating reward, flared to life. A chart of brain activity shows the response to a familiar human scent surpassed unfamiliar dogs, and even food. Veterinary clinics use this biological reality as a medical tool. Leaving an owner's unwashed clothing in a kennel acts as a measurable anxiolytic, lowering a dog's heart rate and cortisol levels during a stressful stay. The theft of laundry allows the dog to access a concentrated dose of your scent. They are finding a way to soothe their nervous system through proximity while you are away. Other dogs prefer a more theatrical approach. They grab the TV remote, stand perfectly still, and wait for you to look up. This behavior is reinforced by a variable schedule. Because our reactions are inconsistent, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we chase, sometimes we offer a treat, the dog experiences a reward loop similar to a slot machine, making it difficult to stop. This interaction is built on the survival instincts of wild canids and the ancient mechanics of play. In the wild, animals use games like Keep Away to practice social coordination. They employ self-handicapping, deliberately slowing down to keep the game balanced. The dog holding a remote just out of reach is initiating a game their ancestors refined over thousands of years. It is a direct invitation for you to stop what you are doing and engage. Some dogs are more tactical. They ignore a steak while you are watching, but swipe it the moment you leave the room or turn off the lights. Experiments at the Max Planck Institute demonstrated that this isn't just blind impulsiveness. This top-down view shows how dogs adjust their behavior based on your perspective. They consistently take food from positions where a human sightline is blocked, showing they can model what you can and cannot see. The items they choose to take are often influenced by their genetic history. Selective breeding amplified specific parts of the predatory motor sequence. Retrievers, for instance, were shaped for a persistent carry and hold drive. That same instinct makes them target items like shoes to hold in their mouths. There is also a developmental window of impulsivity. Between 8 and 12 months of age, young dogs often go through an adolescent phase where they test boundaries and react more frequently to the world around them. These behaviors emerge from a combination of spatial awareness, inherited motor sequences, and age-related exploration. It's important to note the safety limits of this behavior. While taking items for play or comfort is common, high arousal destruction, or the actual swallowing of objects, is a medical issue. Repetitive ingestion of non-food items can signal serious anxiety or gastrointestinal distress and requires a veterinarian's attention. For normal behavioral theft, the most effective response is often the least intuitive. Do not give chase. Pursuing the dog provides the exact high-energy interaction they are trying to trigger. Instead, behaviorists recommend a trade. By calmly offering a treat of higher value for the stolen item, you teach the dog that giving things up leads to a positive outcome, which prevents the development of defensive guarding. All these behaviors are linked to a reciprocal hormonal loop. When you and your dog make eye contact, both of your brains release oxytocin, mirroring the biochemical exchange seen between parents and infants. This circuit is unique to the dog-human relationship. A moment of wonder. When the same test is run with hand-raised wolves, the oxytocin levels do not show this synchronized spike. Every stolen sock or shoe serves as a trigger for this hormonal loop. It is a physical method for a dog to ensure the human it is bonded with looks back and stays connected to their needs.